Let there be peace and love among all beings of the universe. Let there be peace. Let there be peace. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Namaskar. Welcome. Sara. Dearest Papa, I have a number of questions. The first two questions I know come from the mind. And the source of the mind is emptiness. Yet within the dream these questions come again and again and seem to need to be asked. You say these questions come from the mind, first two questions, and the source of the mind is emptiness. This is what to speak. So when this question comes from the mind and you say, source of the mind is emptiness, you simply speak or did you have an experience?
I have that experience. I have had that experience when I trace the thoughts back, Papa. There's nothing.
Wait. The source of the mind is emptiness. You say, I have experience. So, the questions come from the mind and the source of the mind is empty. Now you are going from the question to mind and now to the source of the mind. And are you traveling with it? Are you also traveling with it? Question, mind, source. Have you traveled along with?
Yes,
Okay. Okay. If you have arrived the destination where the train halts, stops. As some trains from Lucknow, they go only to Delhi, like Gomti, Shatabdi, and if you keep on sitting there, it will not move. It is the destination. Therefore, you have travelled from question to mind and then the destination. Emptiness is the destination. Then what happened there? Train is halted, means thought is halted. So you are sitting in the train or you are pushing the train further? Understand first. Don't waste time. You have now returned to emptiness as you speak. Okay. In emptiness, what do you see? Is there any Sara or Amara or Balsara? What is there?
Nothing, Papa.
So simply don't ask questions, you see. You must work with the question, and also you must be very serious. What do you want? And simply picked up questions from here and there is waste of time. Returning to emptiness, you have arrived to the destination. And in emptiness, never anything exists, including this person. Then who is there? These questions come again and again and seem to need to be asked. So in emptiness, ask me a question. This is a question, the first question is the question about ethics, responsibilities, and the laws of karma. Some people give the impression that it doesn't matter whether we do, because everything is illusion or empty. Therefore, ultimately this is true, just as ultimately life, death, illusory. Yet within the dream, is it preferable to act with love, kindness, generosity, etc., as so many spiritual teachings suggest, or does it not matter? So this is only for a suggestion from the teachers. Doesn't matter. In emptiness, those people who really have experienced the emptiness, they have no teaching at all, and they don't have any suggestion to anybody. They simply say, keep quiet. Tibetan Buddhism, which places strong emphasis on following 5 precepts, for example, also state that one reason for doing this is that the karmic consequences of not following the precepts bring about disturbance of the mind, and thus one cannot attain Buddha consciousness. So Tibetan Buddhism, they are placing strong emphasis on following 5 precepts. So this is to begin with, so that your mind is always disturbed. So it is advised in the initial stage to follow 5 precepts, and then after that work on nirvana. And when each day at satsang you say, let there be peace and love among all beings of the universe, which this heart resonates with, does this mean one should choose to act in ways that support this and not to act in ways that don't? Please comment, Papaji. So this is, let there be peace among all beings of the universe. This is the declaration in the book of knowledge, Vedas. They suggest when you get up in the morning, You must utter this. Let there be peace in the world, let there be peace in the heaven, let there be peace in the hell. Let all beings be happy and peaceful. And I have picked up this from the Veda itself, which dates back to 25,000 years ago. Yet, by stating these, there has been no peace and no happiness. Still, we speak every day. Even 25,000 years ago, there was no peace. So, peace and world don't sit together. Wherever there is a world, there is confusion. And we wish good for the people because we don't have any harm, instead of speaking other things. So in the morning when we meet, we wish good for everybody to bring peace, but it hasn't brought peace. People are as disturbed as quite a million years ago they have not found peace. And nobody is at peace in the world. Everybody is disturbed. You can just imagine, stay as you are, you see how the mind is running. Even in meditation, the Buddhism, they say meditate. But where the mind is running, you see, mind cannot stay quiet. So when we meet here, we are suggesting and we are helping and we are working not to care for the mind. Not to care, let it run. Running away is the monkey habit of the mind. And we can't hold it. Let it go. But simply, this we can do where this monkey is coming from. So this is a very novel method and it is working now. And quite few people have done it, and this is the experience, you see. When you search where this thought which has disturbed you for quite a million of years, turning you around and around to different species, and now you are here to see what can be done not to enter into the vicious circle again. And so this is a novel method, not to have any kind of practice suggested by Buddhism and other religions. Simply, this we can do where this thought is arising from. Number one question, you see. So slowly you will see, when you arrive at the beginning of the question and before the question arose, you will see, you will recognize, and you will merge into that, whatever it is. I don't call even emptiness, you see. So when you recognize, you will merge into that like river merging into the ocean. So all running about ended. And this we can do in an instant of time. And then you will know it is the instant from where the universe began 2 billion years ago. And this is the instant where it stayed for 2 billion years and much more to come. And this is the instant you have done that never ever existed, the same instant. So, if you don't work, it will go on going. And if you wish to stop, you will see it has never ever existed. So quite a few among us have tried it and found that nothing has existed, nothing is existing. And when you dream, in the dream you marry. You marry with a man and then you get 3-4 children out of that in that time. So 3-4 children, it must take you at least 4 years. If you are in India, 4 years. Every next year one child. But if you are from Europe, you have to wait for the next child for 10 years. Whatever. So when you wake up, where is your partner? Where are those children? But still, you remember that you had 3 children. Still, this thought is there. And this is called samsara. The remembrance of the past dream is samsara. So once this question was asked by a very good student and excellent teacher. He is asking, you speak of illusion, that your next question is about illusion. You speak this samsara is illusion. But I see everything real as solid, as anything. Can you be illusion? Can I be illusion? Can this world be illusion? Master, please help. I am confused. Please satisfy me. Then he keeps quiet. Then say, let us go have a walk into the forest. So they have walked. He said, I am very thirsty. It is very warm. I sit under a tree and you take a vessel and there is the river. Bring me some water to drink. I stay here under the shade. There he goes and slides this vessel into the waters of the river. There he saw there stood a very beautiful young girl and he falls in love with her. And then he proposes, I want to marry you. Then she says, this is not the custom in India. All our marriages are arranged by our parents, but I also like you. So you have to speak to my father. You come, you follow me. I will show you at a distance because my father is the proprietor of this village and we have much land, cows, horses. So I will tell you, point out, and then I can't accompany you. I will go back and from the behind of my house, I will just behind the door, I will see what my father is suggesting. So she showed there, seated on the cart and smoking hookah and chewing pan is my father. You go and speak to him. And then he goes there. He said, I saw your daughter just an hour ago and she was at the river, I was also at the river, I fell in love with her. So, can you marry your daughter to me? And the father said, who are you? He says, I am a Brahmin from such and such village. What is your education? He says, I have learned philosophy. I have studied all the Vedas, Upanishads, Shastras, and I know astronomy, and I know geology. I know also oceanography. Yeah. So there are 18 sciences in the world that are, he said, I have graduated in these. So he says, very good. You look quite young and you are very qualified. I don't hesitate to give the hand of my daughter to you, but one condition. I have only one child. This daughter is the only child I have. So I am very attached with her. So if you want to marry her, you have to stay here with me and you cannot take her away to your village. Agreed. I agree, he says. Then, so we are announcing to other neighboring farmers so that they have to attend, and sufficient time we give, 1 month. So after 1 month they were married. And in 3 years they got one child. And now about 5 years have passed. The in-laws, father, mother, they are now old enough. They have registered the will in the name of their son-in-law. All this village belongs to them. All the property belongs to this thing. So the father-in-law fell sick and died. A mother-in-law also, after about a couple of years, she also died. Now both of them are alone. Now they get another child. After 10 years, they got another child. Then another. So they have spent quite 18 years there, you see. 18 years there. So then there comes a spate, the flood in the river. The river is slowly rising to the extent that all the farms are destroyed. But they went on the hillock and stayed there, you see. Slowly water is rising and their cows are being thrown away. Everything is destroyed. Now the water is still rising. It comes up to their shoulder. And one small child he put on the shoulder, and one in the other hand, wife in the right side. So the current is very strong, and the one on the shoulder slipped. Son slipped. He went to hold this son. The wife slipped. He goes to hold the wife, the other son gives. So all everything is lost, and now river is receding. He is crying for the loss of the village, loss of the wife, loss of the children, and everything is now. The river is receding, came to its previous level. Now the teacher comes. What are you thinking about? Your vessel is in the water. Why don't you draw it? I told you. And it was a matter of just 1 minute, and you have spent 5 minutes on this thing. Looks at his face. Oh, Master, 5 minutes you say. What about my wife? What about my village? What about my children? He says, this is the reply of your question. This is solution. Just now you came and you fell in love with the girl. Where is that girl here? You are fetching water for me. So all this thing is coming from the mind. There never existed. No wife was there, no children were there, no marriage was performed, and no village was there. So how this mind, in an instant, it has created. In that instant, they lived well over 20 years. In the same instant, he saw the vessel emerged into the water. So this is how it stands. And you have to do according to your own training.
If you want to skip this mind question, the next one you can.
What?
If you want to skip this next mind question, you can.
You want to skip the next question?
Mind question again. Number 2 you can skip if you want.
No, it's very important question. If not yours, it's a good question for everybody, you see. This question is about the relationship between form and emptiness. Because this is Buddhist question, you see. Again, Buddha said, form is emptiness and emptiness is form. So, this is what I say everywhere. There's no difference between emptiness and form. If form is there, there has to be emptiness from where you can see the form. Now, all around you, when I see Sara is sitting in front of me, then after just touching the body, there must be no form. There must be space in which the forms are seen. Do you follow or not?
I follow it with the mind. I don't know this experience yet.
Okay, if you don't follow the experience, just behind, just 1 millimeter after this body, what do you see? Just after this 1 millimeter.
Emptiness, nothing, nothing.
Nothing, okay. So nothingness is there, so this form is seen in nothingness. Form, no form has to be there when there is form. So all these forms, all this samsara, mountains, men, animals, birds, whatever it is. So when you see the form, beyond this form there must be formlessness. Otherwise you can't see. So to see the form, you have to be in emptiness. And in emptiness, what is form or no form? So this, I do not know how you can understand, because for understanding you need the mind. So this has to come by itself and no understanding is needed. If it comes, it is your good luck. If it doesn't, bad. Because you will always continue in your imaginations. So how to get rid of imagination? This imagination that you see a snake in the dream or a tiger in the dream, and this tiger is now pouncing on you, and you run and you climb a tree, and this tiger is also trying to go on the tree, and you are in much trouble, you see, much trouble. And then this tiger again is approaching you and pulls you down. At that time you woke up.
It'd be good to be formless at that time.
So when you wake up, where is the tiger? Where are you? So somehow you have to understand. There is no tiger, no fear, and you woke up as you were. So like this, you have not changed. Nothing has happened to you. There has been no samsara at all. This is the ultimate teaching. Is this true? I am not asking this to be theoretical, but because it seems that sometimes people here imply that emptiness is better than, or superior to form. To me, this seems like a subtle delusion and separation. So, form or no form, there is no difference. Form or no form, there is no difference. As Buddha also speaks, samsara and nirvana is the same. Samsara, nirvana is the same thing. So some got it. During his time, all those who went to him, they were enlightened. Kashyap was the first person, Ananda second, Anandi Ghosh third, and many others, you see. In the lineage also, many others got enlightened. And somehow this teaching has to be continued. Please comment. I think the problem that arises in the mind is that in the longing for emptiness, one can attempt to reject form. So if you reject form, where this form will go? This thought, this form you reject. What do you mean by that? If I reject this form, how are you going to do?
What happens if I do that is like your story about the two monks crossing the river and one carrying the woman 10
Yes,
miles
but
down the
you
road.
must have, when rejecting something, you must have accepted something, rejecting one thing, to be something that you want to accept. And what is that thing?
Yes, and that is what I call emptiness.
So this doesn't mean what you reject or accept.
No.
Both have to be rejected. Both these acceptings and rejecting.
Yes.
Now both these thoughts you reject. Neither accept nor reject. At that level, who are you?
There isn't me.
So don't accept anything and don't reject anything. Because you accept something, you have to reject something. To reject something, you have to accept something. So both are opposites. So you don't need to accept or reject anything. Let there be anything, everything be there. You have got nothing to do with them. You can't reject anything. If you reject, it must stay somewhere. And you will always carry this rejection. I have rejected such and such thing. This is more prominent than what you have accepted. How to become established in I am not the body? Simply because you are not the body, it is not to be established in. You can stay quiet and think over, when did I wear this body? When?
When did I feel it?
When did I get this body? At what time? Then you certainly will look at the calendar and say, it is 1960 or 70. So you look at the calendar for your birth. And also when somebody is died, they look at the calendar, same person has died and such date. So this birth and death is on the calendar. And if you have no calendar, when were you born? Don't look at the calendar and tell me when you were born. So you look something else, you see. To be born, you have to look at the birth of Christ. Then from that, from his death, you count your birth, you see. And if you don't look at the death of someone, you will see who you are. We only deal and depend on something else, and then calculation has started. And calculation is the habit of mind. And finally, about the name. This person does not want a new name. She has already 4 names, 2 from the Sufis from the West. And she would be happy to stay Sara. So if you know the meaning of Sara, there's no problem, it's not a name. But what do you mean by Sara? What do you mean by this word Sara? Okay. Sara means essence. Essence. I am the essence. So if you know the meaning of your name, let this name stay. I am the essence of everything. I am the essence of form and no form. Then, with this meaning, let this name stay. And it doesn't matter, but if you feel she needs another name, she would be very happy to receive one. Sara also reminds her of 2 Indian women she loves, Sarda Devi and Saraswati. I surrender. This Sharada means also the goddess of intelligence, you see. And Saraswati, music. These 2 women are very famous, and that means this music will come when you understand this thing. You will listen your own music in the form of, in the grace of Saraswati, who plays this veena, or guitar now you can call it, or violin you can call it, whatever. The music comes from playing from the wire. That music is called Saraswati. And Sharda is intelligence. What I speak, you need the grace of Sharda to understand what I am speaking. That you are already realized that you have got to do nothing. If you have doubt, then this goddess Sharda is not shedding grace on you. Therefore, you have to worship both these goddesses, one in the form of music, one in the form of intelligence, to understand. When the teacher speaks, immediately you follow. Yes, it is so. And not simply climbing up like the parrot. Papaji said, keep quiet, keep quiet. Therefore, you go on speaking, keep quiet. You have to know the essence. What do I mean? There was a class once, one class teacher is teaching, and he is now teaching what? The teaching was Satyam Vad, Dharmam Char. Speak the truth and walk on the path of Dharma. So next day, have you remembered yesterday's lesson? Every boy says, yes, 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 but one boy has not raised his hand. And 29 boys said, yes, it is so simple, you see. Speak the truth. Satyam vad, speak the truth. Everybody said. This boy says, I have not remembered. I am not yet ready. Please give me time. Then he was punished. Stand up on the bench. First day. Second day. Have you remembered the lesson? No, sir. You go and stand, face towards the wall. Not remembered. Third day, this man says, I have remembered. I have remembered. I will speak the truth throughout my life. I will follow dharma throughout my life. And this man was one, not even the teacher could do what he has done. So like this you have to follow, not simply climbing up, listening and speaking about so many things I speak. So it's better, you can take time, but when I say keep quiet, it has to mean that you are quiet now. Not simply writing, not simply remembering. Then come straight forward. I am quiet. Say that. Tomorrow this person is going to Rishikesh to meet Arupa and begin our pilgrimage to Gangotri. She is excited and taking warm clothes. Going to the source is very wonderful. Do you have any further guidance for us, and can we bring or do anything for you? So going to the source means the river Ganga comes from there. So you are going to the source, and in the source you will see there is no river. No river, only just drops of water. So like this you also go to the source of your mind, which has become a river, and you see so much big samsara and time. So side by side, don't forget, when you are going to the source of Gangotri, this is a symbol given to us. Some people will understand and stay there. This is the source, and then come laughing. Yes, side by side, not only the source of Ganga, I have arrived my own source, because there is no disturbance from the relations. You have nothing to see except glacier, snows, high mountain, and some, maybe here, there, some person, but belonging to the same thought that he is going to the source. There is no thought in your mind, we are going to Gangotri, Yamunotri, and Gomukh and Tapovan. So this has to be in your mind. And regarding, you say, what should we bring for you? You come back here and tell me, I have seen the source. I will be very happy. And from that river, you bring me some water from the source. So I wish you good luck. You are going. Sunanda. Dear Papaji, I want to tell you about my experience in Poonja a few weeks ago. I jumped into the Ganga and had the desire to let her take me a short distance down the main stream. Then break away and swim back to the beach. I am a very strong person. Everybody knows that you are a strong person. But for some reason, Ganga had a very strong hold on me, and I didn't want to release me. What to do? Before I knew it, I was heading for the rapid. Do I panic? Do I try and swim? No time for anything. Just surrender. So you surrendered to the current of the Ganga. And where did you came to the bank? From Puchatti, did you swim up to Lakshmanjula?
No, I just let the Ganga take me.
You said you surrendered to the current of the, yes, here.
To the flow.
So if you surrender, you are not to make any kind of effort. You have surrendered to the midstream current at Puchatti, which is very strong. No swimmer can come out of this current, you see. So people are finding a place where there is some stagnant water. There many people have taken baths. So I was telling them, don't go to the current, and I was very well aware so that nobody goes. So this is not a surrender. When I let her take me, she threw me here and there. She dumped me under, and I drank more water than I could handle, coughing, and my stomach was full like a drum. So then my lungi also was washed away. Lungi was also washed away, beginning. Therefore I say you don't wear lungis. So we are arranging now swimming suits for the women, because these lungis are not dependable. Then the water came in my stomach. I started coughing and coughing. Then my lungi was beginning. Then was beginning to choke. I tried to loosen it from my neck. Next minute, the water lifted the So water, you are in the current, Shiva. When the water had lifted the lungi from my front and took over the face. And I was absolutely naked. I was suffocating. I quickly pulled it back and at some stage banged my leg on the rock, and I somehow felt there was breath in my back. I got my breath back, and from the stormy water I was carried into the calm water. Before I knew it, she spat me out.
She let me go.
I managed to grab hold of a rock and sat there while I calmed down. By this stage, my friend who was looking after me where I disappeared, came looking for me and went back to the beach with him safely. And when we were being washed away, he was walking on the bank and not along with you. Then he should have come with you.
He wasn't there. He wasn't there.
You say it, no?
Friends. Girlfriends. There
What?
were many girls together at the beach because we had a wedding in the afternoon.
Had come looking for me, and they were walking on the bank of the river.
They saw me go down and I was smiling and waving, and the next minute they didn't see me anymore.
I went back with them, and who gave me a future husband. That is, I learned immediately the art of haircut. So during my wedding, I could see the strength of the rapid action. I realized just how lucky I am. The only damage was two small bruises in the first meeting of and a friend next day offered me some cream to apply on the bruising, but I wanted them as a reminder of my experience. The next morning I had a very strong thought that I must go down the rapid again because it was too easy. I didn't suffer at all. After realizing what a stupid thought this was, I forgot about. Then something very strong registered, and this is what Papaji always says: when you surrender, it is so easy. That same day I fell over twice and really hurt my other knee. Since this experience, I have had a strong pull to go to the West and work with dead people. One other girl went to California to work with dead people because whatever you do to them, they will not reject, they will accept. What all you do to a dead man. It's a very good profession, and only I hear from the West only. And why these girls and men go to work to help the dead men? I don't understand. Maybe something, and you can, if it is private, you write to me, not for satsang. I will read myself. What will you do with the dead man? Because in only one instant I remember this kind of working with the dead man in India. You must have heard the kings who lived in India, and they were court jesters. Do you understand the meaning of court jester? Court jester. Yes. No, you don't follow. That means the kings have had always lot of worries, and just to keep them in good mood and smiling and laughing, so they were appointed by the kings and called court jester. Jester means jokers, you can call it. And so this was a lineage from father to son, son to grandson. They follow how to make joke so that king can laugh at least once or twice a day. And then one day the king was very serious, and then he tried among his jesters, he just sent this announcement that any man who will make me laugh, I will give him 1,000 gold coins. 1,000 gold coins. And now he was so tight-lipped. Many people came. He doesn't smile. And if he doesn't smile on one man, he will be sent to jail for 7 years. If he laughs, 1,000 gold coins. And he was very tight-lipped. Very tight-lipped. Quite. Two people are here. And the back benches. So he's not like this thing. So one man goes, he said, this rascal will never smile. This rascal is not going to smile, and he smiled on this thing. And he got the prize, and now he was accepted the head of jesters. Now he is training his son so that after him he will take that assignment. So he spoke to his wife, my son is now about 18 years old, I must try if he really can become a court jester, and I will behave that I am dead. I am dead. And tells to his wife, you go on speaking, you go on crying, and then he will come. You don't inform what is going on. So he lied dead, and his wife is crying. Wife is crying, and now son has come and says, Mom, what had happened to my father? And he doesn't know the drama, so he's touching from the feet. He's not moving. From the head, not moving. And the knees are not moving. Stomach, chest, neck, not moving. So, and then he located one place. And he said, my father is dead, but your husband is alive. There is no satisfied. We can meet any situation. Then he says, now I will present you to the king and let me take rest. And I have given what I had to my satsang family and provided all kind of informations to my family members. And you are leaving, no?
No, I'm asking you.
Huh?
There's a question I read.
Do you think now is the right time with more love than words can say, Sunanda? It's always the right time.
Is it the right time to go and leave?
Huh?
Is it the right time to leave here and go and work with people who are dying?
But now I have given you the secret. You can apply the stethoscope and see if this man is really dead or simply is behaving because just to see how you play with the dead man. So you don't believe the dead man. No man dies. So you first go and really see the pulse. If he's really dead. And then you have to undergo a training here, how to see the pulse of a man if he's really dead. And I will suggest you. So there is a doctor here. I will suggest you. He is seated on your left. Same line on your left. You go and see him. On your left hand, on my right hand. You go and meet. You can find out. This has come from Italia. Satsang House, Indranagar, Lucknow. I remember you waiting to see you again and as soon as possible. Dilba? What is it? Dilba?
Alba.
Eh?
Alba.
Alba. Nepal. Pokhara. I just came back from Gangotri. Tomorrow I leave for Poonja to go to Missouri to study Hindi for 1 month before I have to begin my tour to Europe. Swamiji is here, so with both of us away, it is not a good time for many people to visit Poonchatti. So much love I am sending to you, beloved of my heart. I will come back to Lucknow as soon as possible on my way to Europe to look once more in your eyes before I go. Such bliss. No name. This has Prabhavati. Prabhavati, I can't hear you. Love to you. The journey has been one long satsang. This time, the diamond of your love, of grace, remained a sacred treasure, reflected back to me from the perturbed living that somehow we everywhere here. My love, Prabhavati. Prabhavati is here?
I think somebody brought it, no? Somebody brought it from Rishikesh.
Somebody brought. Acha, Swamiji is here means they are Ashram Swami.
Yes.
You are the master of death. Your farm is pained with old age, and who knows how long my farm will last. Master, you are the tiger waiting. I am coming out of my hiding so that you can leap on me and devour me, so that the truth of who I am shines untouched by your teeth. This is my prayer and my prasad. I lay my fear at your feet. Anasuya. Mrs. Broom. Mrs. Brown or Mrs. Brown? You say Mrs. Brown, you are Mrs. Red.
You called me Mrs. Broom the other day.
Mrs.
Broom.
Broom. What does it mean, broom?
So sweet.
Huh?
You said my name was Mrs. Broom. Was Miss Broom.
I feel I am incredibly graced and blessed to be here now in your presence, and don't want to waste this unique opportunity. You can see deeply into my heart. Help me open my heart more and more to surrender my pride to you. I am totally in your hands. Please help. I want to end suffering forever. I want to be happy. I want to be free. So this broom has worked or no? this sweeping away your ego has worked or not. This sweeping away your ego has worked or not by broom. That's why it was given to you. So that your ego becomes so humble to sweep the floor and also clean the shoes. This is a way adopted in India. Even very high people go there and stay in front of the temples and take the dust of under the feet, smear on their forehead. This is done here in India, so I tried. One person from the West, and it was you. Otherwise, if I say to many people, nobody will stay here.
You said you'd give me another prescription.
You are staying or going?
I'm staying.
Achha, okay, then I will tell you something else. Wait, huh? Okay. Ananda, I am leaving the end of this week. All questions have been dissolved. Ananda, other day I called, didn't come, no? Other day I was looking for him. Said, I was asking if Ananda is a girl or a boy. I was asking, your letter was here, you were not here.
Yes.
And then I was asking who is this Ananda, is a girl or a boy? Because Ananda is the name of a man. And if you want to make a female name, just call Nanda. Nanda.
Nanda.
Nanda only.
Leave the A in the beginning.
Eh?
Skip the A.
Nanda only becomes a female name
Okay.
because there is a peak also, Nanda Devi. Peak of Himalayan, one of the Himalayan peak is called Nanda Devi. So she becomes a female. So when you say Ananda, Ananda was a disciple of Buddha, and I don't think she was a woman. So Nanda is a good name.
What does Nanda mean?
Eh?
What does Nanda mean?
Means bliss.
Yes. Nanda means same as Ananda?
Same thing, yes.
Same thing.
Yeah. Nanda, Sunanda, same thing.
Huh.
When you say Ananda, that becomes a male name, Ananda. So I'm leaving end of this week. All my questions have been dissolved. I am very grateful beyond words for all that has happened here. That is happening here in me. Please give me the pleasure of feeling your loving eyes looking at me one more time. I know now that I am who I am. Very good experience when you are going with such a beautiful experience, you know. Where are you going? Where do you leave for?
I'm not clear. I'm leaving on Sunday for Germany. And maybe I leave a few days before that for Rishikesh. I don't know. I'm not knowing anything anymore. Either it happens or it doesn't happen.
Dearest Bhagwan, the most heartfelt thanks to you, Ramana Maharshi and J. Krishnamurti, A.C. Bhakti Vedanta Prabhupada, and every being, the one which has pushed me to your feet. I give thanks to Lord for the grace of the many encounters with the self over the past years. These seem to have been opening of pure love, trying to awaken me to my true nature. A Swami friend eloquently described these encounters as it is your own self which is talking to you. That is why these encounters cut to your heart. I do not have any questions. How could I have had glimpses of emptiness and silence? How could I, having had glimpses of emptiness and silence, not possible? O Paramatman, I have heard your call again and again, and I want to come home. I want to take rest and quit playing this miserable game of duality. Papaji, my Paramatman, I respectfully sit at your feet and ask that you and silence, not possible also, you write.
How could I have questions having had glimpses of nothingness?
Did you have?
Did I have questions? At one point I did.
Then what happened after that? You had a glimpse of emptiness once. It was enough if you have a glimpse of emptiness once. Once is quite enough. Why you want again and again? Now, remind that glimpse again and again and always. Return to the same glimpse. There's not going to happen anything else. So once a glimpse has happened, whatever it was, you say emptiness, you always think of emptiness. While walking, talking, don't forget that I am empty. This will work here. All the time in the day, all the time in the night. Don't let it go. And that's enough. I want to be with you for a moment. I am scared to go in front. Lesha. So I am scared to go to the front. Why? What happened? I was looking for the girl to bring you from there. You came yourself. That girl, she's not here. I looked around to bring you from there to here so that you are not scared And she's 2-year-old and she's not scared. Now you stay here so that you don't have any scare. Malti. I sit here in your presence. Malti. It's Malti or what?
Malta.
Huh?
Malta. Malta.
What?
Malta.
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 What?
Malta.
Huh?
Malta. Malta.
M-A-L-T-I. Martini.
M-A-L-T-E. Malta. Malta.
Huh?
Malta.
Because Malti is the name of a girl. Therefore.
Yes, I heard that.
Huh?
I heard that yesterday.
Yesterday. This is Malta then. Malti is a woman and Malta is a man. So you can write, I am Malta. I sit here in your presence. I am feeling I am naked. I am naked. Is this also mistake or is it not naked or what?
I think you left out a word.
Huh?
I think you left out a word.
No, I have not left.
I am feeling.
Huh?
I am feeling.
Yes. I am feeling here that I am naked. You are feeling that you are naked. And I am so grateful to be here in this position. Yet there is some covering in my heart. I am feeling very separate. It's a familiar feeling that I know well how to run away from. But here I cannot run anymore. I have had glimpses of the self, also a familiar place. I have a very strong desire to be free. These all mean the same thing. Desire to be free and glimpses of the self, and you saw something, some place very familiar to you, all mean the same thing. So this familiarity cannot be other than your own self. Not that if you see someone and you say, he is familiar to me. So for that familiarity, you have to run back, and here you say, no more running back. So all those familiarities that you see in any persons or any objects, you have to run back to the past to pick up how they have been familiar to you. You must have had some interest with that person or an object. But this familiarity is your own self. And when you will stand in front of it, you will see that this has been very familiar, but you have been looking on other persons and objects. Therefore, you forgot to look at it. So, turn your face towards it and get absorbed into this familiarity. then there will be no difference between you and this person who is very familiar to you. You become one. And there you have to be naked, and you laughed at it when I said you are missing something. I don't miss something. You have to be naked before this familiar person. If you wear anything, any shirt, any pajamas, you can't see it. Remove everything. That means you have not to wear any thought around you. Then you will become naked. Then you are that familiar person whom you have been searching for quite some time. And you said that I was missing something. I have not missed. So you said that I miss this feeling. Yes, I have to miss this feeling. You can't go with this feeling that you are naked. Even this feeling you must leave behind. If there is no feeling, you will see this beautiful person who is so familiar to you and familiar to everyone else. What I don't understand is my continuous resistance, my fear to surrender. It completely overpowers, and this is how you are not naked. You are wearing resistance, you don't like it. And you say you want to be free. How can you be free when you are resisting this freedom, and when you are having fear in your mind, you can't see your beloved. Remove this fear, you say, I am naked. So, this fear you have to remove from your mind. Also, resistance. Then there will be surrender. And you can't do it, you can't see it unless you are quite free of thoughts. Can you help me shed some light on this thing, on this self? You have to become light yourself, to see the self. Nobody can shed any other light on it. And you have to see your own lights while you close the eyes. This light is always there. When you don't see any other lights, then this light will appear in front of you. For a short while you try, don't look here, there, anywhere, and then you will see this light. Please, Papaji, can you help me? Can you shake me up and wake me up? Need it? Need it? So what do you mean by shake me up, wake me up? Yes, you have been shaken, that's why you are here. You are awoken, that's why you are here. You don't need anything else. This is a shake-up, that's you attend this satsang. And unless you are shake-up, you can't come here. So this shake-up is here to come to attend satsang, and then you have got to do nothing. You are already awoke and you have been already shook. Otherwise you could have stayed there where you belong to. How you have been shaken and taken away from those circumstances from where you have born and lived, and you have rejected it. So you are after something, and that something, I promise, you will have it. Where do you belong to?
Israel.
Huh?
Israel.
Israel. I see. I am getting few applications for teaching Kundalini Yoga, and this is another application. This idiot is loving Kundalini Yoga very much. If you are having this knowledge of the Kundalini Yoga, please, would you very much be pleased to teach me this Kundalini Yoga. Please advise. So it will be excellent. So this person is here and he knows already too much for Kundalini Yoga, and I don't reveal this name. When other people are also there, I have about 3 more people, and it will be announced tomorrow, because I said Wednesday and Sunday are possibilities, and I have to find some time because I am undergoing some treatment with steam, herbal steam baths on my body, morning 6:30 to 8 and evening 5:30 to 7:30. Therefore, some of my children come there and go disappointed, which I don't like, and please allow me to undergo this treatment for 20 days more. And on Wednesday it starts from 10 to 11:30, because every day in the morning I can't have, they say I have to take rest because the steam I cannot expose immediately. So on satsang days, mornings are not heavy. On Wednesday 10 to 11:30 I cannot go out, and this Ayurvedic doctor, the principal of the Ayurvedic college, Lucknow, he himself comes on these 2 days, and in the evening 5:30 to 7:30. So I hope you will not mind if you don't come and stay outside the gate. And for your swimming arrangements we are making today. So Kevin will come with us today. Yes. So this place I have already seen, but there was some trouble. The corporation was not supplying water. At that point I saw, then later on I forgot. So we see this thing because the government swimming pool, they allow only 5 couples, so that's not enough. We want to go together. We want to enjoy all of us together, not only for swimming, but we need some holiday. When we have no satsang, we go and enjoy near the swimming pool. So I hope this will work, then we don't need the government swimming pool, because they give us limited number, and we cannot enjoy if some members of the family go and enjoy and not the full family. So I don't think we are going to accept it. So after this we are seeing, after satsang we go there, otherwise there's one more possibility that is left for us to decide. After seeing this, if he allows, I do not know if Kevin has met the proprietor of this pool. Vimala, I now realize that I have no idea what true surrender is. I thought I was doing it. How mistaken I was. My body is very weak, but still so contracted and seems unable to let go. My mind relentlessly plays old tapes. I feel wasted and finished. My time here with you in Lucknow is up. Already I am 10 days here. My visa, because I haven't felt well enough to travel, as soon as possible I must get a plane reservation to return to West. It feels incomplete, such a strange finale to my 3 months with you in Lucknow. I can only bow down and trust I am loving you always, Vimala. So these 3 months that you have spent here is not a waste of time. This will work someday. If you have not been benefited during these 3 months, and first of all, every day I speak, you need 1 instant of time. But somehow you stayed here 3 months, it is not going to waste. It will work someday. Don't be disappointed. You go back, and perhaps when you go back, all these things will rush. What you have heard here will rush into your mind, and in some cases these people have stayed here and they complained they didn't get it. And one way they are right also, because I don't give anything and they don't get anything, therefore they are confused. When they go home, then only they will understand I had to get nothing and he had to give me nothing. This is, you will remember now. And if you don't remember, you write to me. You write to me, I got something from you from Lucknow. And you had given me something, you write to me. But remember, my reply would be, when did I give you anything? And if I gave, what was it? What is the name? That name you have to give me. Mind you, you will write to me, Vimala, because You are here familiar to everybody here, and it was me who gave you this name because Vimala means thoughtlessness, has no impurity in the mind, and I don't think I made a mistake. And if you like, I can, at the beginning of your trip to the West, I can make this name not Vimala but Amala. Amala means full of thoughts, full of confusion, full of doubts. Amala. Vimala means no thoughts. My name is Ragish. Regi, I came to you 1 month ago. You asked me to make a strong choice. You are Regi or Ragi? Regi. I did it at the second. You asked me. Now I have been in Lucknow 5 days with a new visa from Nepal. During all this time, I made beautiful experience of bliss, but I am still too much influenced by the world, by the people, and by the events. It's like a curtain which masks the self. Please, Papaji, help me to remove my ignorance and totally silence. With thanks. Now, you have renewed the visa from Nepal for 6 months. Okay, for 6 months you got this visa and you have much time now. And during all this time I made beautiful experience of bliss. Well, you said you have experience of bliss, but I am still too much influenced by the world. So, if you had this glimpse of the truth, just a glimpse, let anything stay with you. There's no problem. No world can trouble you, no events can trouble you, but take care. You have had this glimpse, and you say, I have had this glimpse of beauty and eternal love and of truth. That's all you keep in mind as you say. Then let anything happen. What can happen to you then? Your Father is the Lord of the universe. That's what you say you have realized once. And He cannot now disown you. And you can do whatever you want. But remember, I am Son of the Lord of the universe. All these things are for you to enjoy. Like the prince of a king, he knows I am the prince. He knows I am the prince. Then whatever he wants to do, he can do. Who can touch him? Everybody knows he is the prince. Whatever he wants to do, he can do. Nobody can complain. To whom they will complain? To the Father. And who is the Father? His Father himself. And will he punish his son? But you don't disown your Father. Otherwise you will become a beggar if you disown that you are not a prince. And this is up to you. Everybody is a prince. And those who are in trouble, they forgot that they are in prince. There's less time for me. There are new people here, but then I cut short the story how one boy forgot he was a prince and what stupid way of life he had to lead. But some people are new, I can immediately tell. There is a king, he goes for game shooting every Sunday. Game means hunting the big game, means tigers. So on this Sunday the queen also decides, I will go. And generally the game hunting is during the night. So the king agreed, but she had a son aged 5-year-old. Now they have started hunting campaign with so many people, and she thought, my son is now sleeping and we will come back early morning, there's no problem. And she left him in the tent and they went. This boy, this child wakes up, Mama, Mama, Mama. Mama is not there. So he was almost naked, sleeping in the tent. He goes out of the tent and searching, calling, Mama, Mama, where's my Mama? Goes. Now, next morning, they came, the child is missing. The queen, king, both are worried. The queen says, I'll not return back to the capital unless I see my child. So some people suggested it may have been taken away by wolf or hyena. But then she said, at least I must see the stains of the blood, or I must see some bones. He must have eaten the flesh. Then I will return back home. The king says, now 1 day, 2 days, 3 days, they stayed. Child is not found. Now the king says, you come back, I will post a team of army men who will start on all the 4 directions and will not return unless they find the child. So to all directions, these teams, different teams, moved north, south, east, west. So they are waiting for the news. They don't come across any news. No news have been sent. Months have passed. Year, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years have passed. But they are not allowed to return back unless they find the child or some symptom that he has been eaten away. So one day, on the other end of the forest, they entered that village and they were thirsty and they wanted to drink water. There was a well, and in that well one boy was fetching water with the bucket, and these policemen said, you give us water to drink. And he very humbly gave them water to drink, his own vessel, and brought another bucket and asked them, if you want to wash, you can wash. Then they were very happy with this boy, around 10-year-old. And they asked, my dear child, what's your name? He says, my name is Jungli. You know, Jungli name, everybody will know. A man from the forest. Forester you can say, but Jungli, I think those who know English, there's no problem with them. So they suspected this name cannot be of an ordinary person. There must be some reason behind this boy. And they asked him, where is your house? They said, there. what are your parents doing? We are potters. They say, my father makes pottery and I take this water for soaking the mud. That's my profession, my parent. He doesn't know who he is. So there he go with the policeman. This family, mother and the father of this boy, Jagli, they got afraid because there were policemen taking this boy with them. And they simply asked, who is this boy? And he had to speak the truth. He said, I used to go to forest to bring mud every morning. So this boy was crying, Mama, Mama, with only underwear. So some 4 or 5 years ago, we have adopted and nobody came to claim him. And we are now here and he knows that we are his parents and we know that this boy belongs to, he is very handsome boy and very intelligent boy, but nobody could claim. So this policeman suggests, he is the prince and you come with us. He shivered with terror, with fear. It's not our mistake. He said, no, you will be rewarded. Meanwhile, his friends come. And they call him, come Jangdi, because he owes them last evening's game. Yesterday's, last night's unfinished game. So it has to start this morning and they call, come Jangdi, you owe us a game of last night. And he says, I will arrest you, to his friends. To whom you are calling Jangli, I am prince. He heard, just heard, he had not seen his father, just heard from a reliable source that he is a prince who are telling to his father, and he became a prince. And now he cannot take it easily that somebody calls Jangli. He says, arrest him because this is his police now. So, what is the result of this story? This boy didn't know. And actually nothing has happened. He was a prince, but due to some reasons he forgot. These people go and the king rewarded that whole village to these people, to these pottery people, whole village to them in the reward of this thing. And this prince became very happy and also called his friends who were calling me Jangli and gave them awards also. Here ends the story. And the story is, you are already prince, you are already free, and you forgot. So someday you will hear from a reliable person, authority, that you are free. And immediately you feel that you are free. And you are playing with other people who are even giving you names. And even you will reward those people. But you must know who you really are. You must hear from the authority.
She's going tomorrow, maybe she's going on the house. And your mother would leave tomorrow. She will still not even back.
Ramana Sadguru, Ramana Sadguru, Ramana Sadguru Rayane. புகழும் பொன்னுலகத்து வானவர் போற்றி நின்று புகழ்ந்திடும் திகழும் நன்னிலமாம் திருச்சுழி தன்னில் வந்த தயாபரன் அழகு சுந்தர அன்பினில் வரும் அமுதவாரிதி அருணையான் மழவிடை பொருள் அருள்படை தீடும் வடிவில்லா வடிவானவன் ரமண சத்குரு ரமண சத்குரு ரமண சத்குரு ராயனே 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 பக்தியோடு பணிந்து நின்றிடும் பக்தர் கோடிய தங்களை முத்திமை கரை காட்டி மூதறி குட்டிட துவஜம் இட்டவன் அங்கமேறி அகங்கரி தீடும் ஆடவ பாடுபாவியை துங்க ஞானவன் கொண்டு சாடுவின் தூமணி சுடர் ஆகினே ரமண சத்குரு குரு ரமண சத்குரு ராயனே ரமண சத்குரு ரமண